Welcome to the Judgment Free Zone. You've downloaded the Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast, episode number 8 for May 23rd, 2022. On this week's episode, of course, we always cover our drinks. We have some interesting listener feedback, booze news from a bodybuilding TikToker, and of course, Coach Amy's Tactic of the Week.
Now adjust the volume control so that the sound can be heard in all parts of the room.
Recorded live from the cornfields of Central Illinois, you're listening to the Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast with Matt and Amy. Come and learn and share a journey with two former craft beer enthusiasts who went from daily drinkers to teetotalers and basically never lost their love for their life together.
Hey, a freak show!
Well, hello there, children. Welcome back to the Freak Show. That's right, it's the Alcohol Free Marriage Podcast. I'm Matt, along with the always lovely Coach Amy. How are you, my love?
I'm good.
Good answer, caller. You gave me a look when I changed up the intro this time. You didn't like what I did there?
No, I did.
Oh, getting fancy, see?
I don't know.
And that was...
You know, it's all new. Or kind of new, and the Velcro got you there.
Got tracked by the Velcro. I'm all kinds of out of sorts tonight. I don't know why.
I don't know. We're doing this at a different time of the day. It's still...
It shouldn't impact my organization, though. It's the same as it always is, but it is. It's a Sunday evening, which normally we do this at no determined set time, so I don't know why this is bothering me at all, but we do have a time limit, though, Amy. We do have to get back to see the American Idol finale, which by the time you people hear this will be done, but...
Yes, and hopefully...
It's the future for us.
Well, because... Is it Leah Marlene?
Something like that, yeah.
She is a native.
She's from Normal, Illinois.
In fact, we have a tie-in to this.
We know people who know people.
Loosely.
So, we're like best friends.
One of our really good friends was, I believe, her 6th grade teacher, and they are still friends, and so that's kind of cool. It's like a distant cousin or like a friend of a cousin.
Yeah, it's like I got a guy who knows a guy. That's kind of how it is. Mm-hmm.
So it's like, so anyways, it is exciting. Our town has been,
oh Lord,
it's been just crazy, which is exciting. It's super exciting. It really is.
Not much goes on here in the cornfields. So when we have something like this, it's like,
this is huge. This is huge. So,
we shall see.
Hoping and wishing her, she's amazing. She's
quirky, little fun gal.
She's just the real deal, and I hope that she wins just because I think she's super sweet and I really like her.
There you go. That's your American Idol update if you're looking for that. Which won't be an update by the time you hear this.
It's the 20th season, Matt.
Well, there you go. You used to do an American Idol update on the podcast, on our old podcast.
I loved American Idol back then.
No, not so much. No, I don't dislike it. It's just, I moved on. I used to
like 20 years.
I used to like Survivor too, and that's still on, I think.
But what's that other one we watch? I
have no idea.
The one with the Holderness. They won.
Oh, Amazing Race.
Yes, I love that one. But I lived that before, and that's one that, no, we would never be able to be on it. We kill each other.
I don't think our endurance is quite there. We have aged out of that, but they thought they did too. So anyway,
and they won. Let's hear it for old people.
Old people.
Go middle age.
Are we still middle aged? Okay, we'll go with that.
Well, you know what I am. I'm middle aged as long as my dear grandmother is alive. My grandmother is going to be 101. So
as long as you're under 55 and a half.
Yeah. There you go.
So the clock will start ticking one of these days, Amy.
I'm going to live till I'm going to be 106.
You're going to live till you're going to be 106?
I'm going to live till I'm 106.
Then you're definitely outliving me, that's for sure.
You don't know that.
I drank for way too many years to live to 106. My liver's already tapped out, let alone make it 100.
It's regenerated.
And
I've got you. You're taking all those supplements. We've got you good. You're going to start a workout program soon.
Yeah, our son came home from school for the summer, and he's a big worker-outer. And Amy's like, oh, you can go to the gym with him. You don't understand. I'm not going to the gym because I don't have somebody to go with. I'm just not going to the gym. Does that mean I am going to the gym? Moving on.
He's going to be going to the gym. So we'll be doing some updates on that.
So next week, after I have a heart attack, this podcast will be a single solo cast.
Don't worry. I've got people who can fill in. I just don't know how to start it or do anything with it.
All she knows how to do is warning. If you're going to take over for me, all she knows how to do is show up and talk into a microphone. So it's true.
I think I need to. You know what? There you go. We're gonna do a podcast where you're going to train me, and I will be in charge.
That'll be what we don't publish. But anyway, moving on.
I don't think I think that's rude.
Well, because it would.
Everything is figure outable.
Mm-hmm. Unless it needs a password, then she's in trouble.
I have a book.
Yeah, you know how they say don't write your password down? Yeah.
I have a whole book.
All right, childrens. Well, your drink of the week. My drink of the week is the Untitled Art, one of my favorites. Untitled Art Hazy IPA, which their stock comes and goes and hits and misses. Some of it's online, some of it you find in a store. You find a store not online, vice versa. They have a juicy IPA, which honestly I don't know how much different it is from their Hazy IPA. It might just be.
What is the difference between a juicy IPA and a regular IPA?
The hops. There's juice in it. Maybe there's juice.
It's juicy. I mean,
it's juicy. I don't honestly know. I'm not really. I appreciate a good beer, but I'm not a beer snob. Like, oh, it has juicy hops, timed longer with a citrus blend from Florida.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh, here's another child coming down the stairs. Hi, Luke. Speaking of the child that's home. So, Amy, what's your drink of the week?
Blueberry mojito.
Ooh, and what do you put in that blueberry mojito other than blueberry? Specifically three blueberries, according to the recipe.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah. 3. I put, you know what? I like blueberries, so I deviated. I put 6.
Are you allowed to do that?
So you mull up the blueberries, or muddle.
Muddle, not mull. Muddle.
Muddle. So muddle those up. You put them in the bottom. You're supposed to do it in the glass. I did not, but so they put it in the glass. Then it's Amethyst, blueberry, ginger, mint, which is the those NA spirits. Oh my gosh, it's so good. And then soda water, simple syrup, lime juice, and the muddled blueberries. However, I mixed mine up and did mine a little different because we didn't have all the ingredients correct.
So if you don't have everything, you just fill in the blanks.
But I have had this before, and it was really good when we were at our Sandspar event that we went to. But so I did the Spindrift lime, and that was really good. And
it already has lime juice in it, so a drink with lime makes sense.
So we did that, and I didn't use the simple syrup.
No, and it was very good without it.
It was really good.
But if you wanted syrup more sugary, if it was too tart.
Yeah, but it was really good.
Well, you use I wonder if your water change-up made it better. Club soda would be a little more flavor. You put in a water that has more flavoredness.
I don't know. You know what? It was good. And you know what? It's a really easy, yummy drink.
There you go.
Refreshing.
I do recommend it.
It was really nice.
And you actually dialed it back to 2 ounces of the Amethyst on the second round, and that was just as good, right?
Yeah, I would say. I mean,
what we're saying is play with your recipes. You know, think outside the bottle. Like what I did there.
Okay.
All right,
that was exciting.
We'd like to continue to thank you for the feedback and the likes and the comments. Please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share. Tell one person. If all of you told one person, we'd have 10 listeners. We're trying to get to double digits.
Come on.
No, I'm kidding. But it would help if you just told one person. Share it one place. I don't know.
Yeah, come on.
If everybody listens once in the entire world, that's all we need. But speaking of feedback, Amy, using the feedback at afmpodcast.com email address, our good friend...
I don't know,
Margot, who she did actually delete her comment that we talked about last week.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Because she put, I'll read it. Hey, Matt and Amy. Yes, I did delete the comment because I thought it wasn't nice. I don't want to be that bully on social media.
Which we do appreciate, yes.
I do, but I didn't think it was bullying.
No.
I have a super sarcastic sense of humor, but
Which we do too. So,
but it doesn't always translate well. Thanks for forgiving me and actually laughing about it.
Which brings
and
up
we
a good
did,
point.
because it was hilarious.
Yes, but sarcasm doesn't translate well in the typed word.
No,
Nice.
but I totally got it.
Yeah, we were perfectly fine with it, as she knows. But
yeah,
but she has some great questions and comments. I'll do number one, Amy.
Okay.
She goes, I don't think my husband and I have ordered a drink in over 10 years at a restaurant. Why? A drink is expensive. You are very correct. She always drinks water or iced tea. She was asking, in general, how much do non-alcoholic drinks that we talk about cost? Pretty much they all cost the same as the alcoholic counterpart.
Well, it depends. If it's on the menu, yes.
Oh, yeah, because the place that we get a beer, it's a $6 alcohol beer or $6 non-alcoholic beer.
Yes, but if I have been...
Your margarita the other week was the same price with or without.
Yes.
Because they put the ritual in.
But it was also on, it was on the menu. So, but I have here locally ordered like a virgin mojito or whatever, and it's...
Oh, they charge you like because they probably charge you like a pop then because there's alcohol in it.
So it's been pretty cheap. So it just kind of depends.
Well, the difference is your virgin mojito literally had no additional mixer in it, whereas your margarita had a shot of ritual tequila, air quotes.
Yeah.
So there's still a cost involved there.
And I will say though, which that was very good, and it tasted really, in my opinion, no different, but like here, if I had like the little mojito or the other ones I've had at just different places going, I want a virgin mojito.
Then it's cheaper, yeah.
It's been cheaper, and
so it depends. But like,
it's been really good.
When you talk about the beers and the wines, most of them are the same price because if you're doing an NA beer, it's still brewing the beer like you normally would. And in fact, more work because then a lot of them then de-alcoholize it from there.
Yeah.
So, it's not just because they take the alcohol out, it doesn't make it less expensive.
Yeah, it's actually for wine. It's I know for sure the
wines are more expensive.
It's more
for sure.
expensive.
Yeah. So it just kind of depends. It's definitely. I've always said we haven't saved as like a drink for drink saved money, but you don't drink as many, right? So like where I may have had 3 or 4 or more on an evening, like I'll have 1, maybe 2. So, and maybe not every night. So you don't drink as much, so you do save in the long run.
I actually drink now when I have an NA drink the way I always wanted to be able to drink.
1 or 2.
1 or 2. Yes. And I never could. It was always more.
It is a weird feeling when you start doing that and then you're like, oh, I only want 1.
But, just in reading Margot's comment about not ordering a drink, that wasn't even for us. It was like that wasn't even an option.
No.
It was like, oh, it's on the menu. We're going out for...
Yeah, I'll have a beer or cocktail. Or
it was never even a thought that we wouldn't have an alcohol drink.
Yeah. And now, although I will say, Margot and everybody else, when we go out, I do kind of calculate in my head like how much less our dinner bills are. So I'm like, okay, well, you can roughly assume we would have each had 2 drinks on average. Well, that's like $25 or more additional to your tab. So now if you do the NA thing, it kind of is a wash. But anyway, so there you go. So it can be cheaper. It can be the same. But
we went out for lunch the other day, and
I had sweet tea. You had regular tea.
I had Yankee tea.
Yankee tea. All right, Amy, what's number 2 from Margot here?
Okay, my kids and their friends are in their 20s, and they have never been interested in alcohol. They are more of the edible pot generation. I know pot is legal in Illinois. Thoughts on that? What do your kids think about you guys drinking?
Not drinking.
Not drinking. Okay, the first question, that pot is legal. Thoughts on that? You know what? I don't know, really. I mean, I know people who
do, and they're.
I know people who have been using medical
forever
for quite a while. I know people who use pot like to relax, like alcohol.
Yeah. Well, two things. Even alcohol, you can argue in moderation. I think most people, in my experience, tend to have a more moderation, are able to moderate the marijuana piece easier than alcohol. But
I think so. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I've never been into pot. No. I don't know. And you know what? On the questions, we haven't really had a chance to ask the kids yet, so we'll have to come back to that.
I know Maggie notices a lot.
Yeah.
But Luke's not. I mean, well, that gets into our booze news later, but, Luke's into the physical fitness, so, I think he's in college. He goes out with his friends or whatever, but he's not like, he knows there's beer here he could drink, and he doesn't usually drink it, so.
Yeah, he wants to get some. I don't care. He's going to be home this summer. That's up to him. It's his money.
I'm not buying it, obviously.
But let's see.
But yes, it is legal in Illinois. It's been legal. And you always tell when there's a discount code for the pot place because the line is super
Oh, my
long.
Gosh.
Well, because taxes in Illinois, it's like 35%.
It's been really weird, though, because like there's a restaurant building.
Right next to it.
Or
I would think you'd get munchies and get people buying food.
They can't sell that property.
I know. Well, and now you have...
So weird.
And then you have, but there's CBD, which is obviously not that part of the marijuana plant. And you have Delta 8, which is like a hybrid kind of thing. And yeah, there's...
What was that one beer that we had that had the...
Oh, there was a beer that had CBD in it. What was that?
I don't know. I did not like it. I did not like the way that made me feel.
You don't like CBD.
We've tried that before.
You've tried a couple times. It just doesn't hit you right.
Yeah, it makes me... I don't know. I just don't feel right.
It doesn't have a psychoactive component, so I'm not sure what you're getting, but it just, you're always, the two times you've tried it, you're like, oh, maybe it'll help me relax. Nope. I don't know. It just makes you weird.
I'm not.
Makes you more weird.
It makes me tired.
Oh, it doesn't make me tired. If you really want to get tired, we'll go to the pot store. Number 3 from Margot. Talking about when you're in college. She goes, when you're in college, and there seem to be two groups of people. The ones that stop partying around their senior year and actually are productive and move on. I think they were supposed to be another.
She goes, I am noticing.
But she goes, I am noticing at my age, she just turned 60, getting past drinking thing and moving on to other things to do. There's still a group that likes to pound the drinks and doing all the shots, but it's not really a good look. I would agree. And the friends we have go back to grandpa drinks like old fashions and Manhattans.
It's because, it's that whole phase.
I don't know. My senior year, I don't remember anybody settling down, but maybe.
When I was a senior, no, we didn't settle down. College, no, we didn't. We kept going.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that when I got out, then it turned into, it wasn't every week, but I think some people do age into sobriety just because organically your body just has a harder time, doing the things you used to do.
And
if you just don't feel good, I've talked to people and I'm like, I tried it when I was in college and I didn't like it. And then I was like, I'm not doing it because this is stupid. Why would I drink something I don't like? And why would I spend all that money on something that I don't like? And I looked at this person and was like, wow.
Although going back to the comment about the pot and the marijuana stuff, you want to talk about not cheap. That stuff, the taxes alone will get you. But I just think probably the older we get, the more people we know who don't drink less.
Well, I think also for me, a lot of people, all of a sudden you get to your early to mid 40s and you're like, what the heck is going on? I can't do what I used to do. And
the doctor starts saying you have a pain. It's like, how do I fix this? No, that's just how you're going to be now.
Yeah. Honestly, it's kind of, I think you kind of get start to get scared because you're like, oh, I really value my life. So you start putting more into your life. You're like, I want to hang on to my life.
You start feeling immortal.
Well, when you've lost people that you,
right.
I mean,
you start realizing the people who are getting sick and stuff.
I can count on my both hands. Up to about 10 people I know who are around our age. We know people who have died already. Then it's just,
well, when you're our kids' age, you're immortal, and you don't really, people who die of freak accidents or freak diseases. When you start getting to be our age, people die of things that
preventable.
That happen at this age, though, too.
Yeah, but when you look at it and you're like, oh, wow.
All right. Well, that's their thing. My fatty liver, I'm like, ooh.
You die of cirrhosis of the liver. Most people who die of cirrhosis of the liver.
I did not want to die at my own hand. Put it that way.
Exactly.
Okay.
Wow, that was so uplifting. Okay, now let's move on.
Now move on to something more fun. Booze News of the Week with your host, Matt. All right, Amy, this week's Booze News is brought to you by TikTok, of all places. Actually, that's not where I found it, but it's from TikTok.
I think we should do a TikTok station. I mean, channel. Channel.
Speaking of old people. TikTok station.
We're going to do it. We're going to get one.
What frequency, what radio station is that TikTok on? You kids watching that TikTok. Is that on ABC? So
coming soon, we're going to have our own TikTok channel.
I don't know what it's called, but it's not channel. So there's a TikTok bodybuilder, which I thought this is interesting because Luke is I don't know if I call him a bodybuilder. He's definitely a significant weight.
He's so into bodybuilding, weightlifting and bodybuilding.
I don't know when you go from like just a weightlifter.
He's working on the gains,
working
Matt.
on the gains. Well, and this guy talks about his gains. So this TikTok bodybuilder says people should, quote unquote, pretend to drink booze on nights out to protect the gains, which was funny because Luke says, can't drink, messes with the gains. So his advice starts out fairly helpful, recommending viewers stick to drinks that are low calorie, such as vodka, lime, or shots, but don't drink beer and cocktails with mixers. But I'm like, there's a lot of calories just in the alcohol.
Yes, there is. That's one thing I always find interesting. People are like, oh, I want to avoid the sugar, like in like mocktails and stuff. I'm like, do you realize how many calories were in the alcohol? I mean, if you're really worried about calories. But
I agree the mixers do have a lot. But yeah, there's still calories. There's no like fat or carbs in the alcohol, but when your body converts it,
your body converts it, it is being stored as fat.
Right. So it may be.
I can get my book out. I'll read you a whole little section on how your body metabolizes the alcohol.
Well, Amy, then his second tip was he told people to learn to limit yourself when you go out to 2 or 3 drinks. That way you're reducing the negative side effects the alcohol brings. Of course, then TikTok being TikTok, people are like, well, then why even go out? I'm like, okay, so clearly we're not moderating there. But you and I are talking, of course, the TikTok generation tends to be a younger audience. We and I are talking, like, when we went out at that age, we never would have gone out and only had 2 or 3. Like, we were going out to go out. And
when you went out to drink.
Yeah.
And it was.
Yeah, you're going out to drink, so I would only have 2 or 3. Yeah.
And it was really, I think you and I were talking about, I mean, the goal was to drink and have fun and just don't ever cross that line where you're going to get sick.
Right. Or pass out under a coffee table. Not that ever happened to me or anything, but no, but yeah. But, so that's everybody's dogging about, 2 or 3 drinks. So what's the point of life? Like, just live on and drink. And I'm like, okay, that's not a good view either, but okay, kids. And then his third and final hack sent TikTokers into a frenzy when he suggested not drinking booze. Or if that was too much to ask, pretend to drink. Be on the safe side. Don't drink alcohol, he said. Just pretend to drink and get yourself some non-alcoholic drinks. And then, of course, I don't know if they were bodybuilder people or if they were just random TikToker people.
They're probably just random. Yeah. I mean,
but they just lost their freaking mind about.
Oh, we could not drink.
Why limit? And just you only go around the world once. I'm like, well, if you keep drinking that much, you're only going to go around half the world.
You'll go around it. You're just going to go around half the time.
Or a little little fewer times than most people.
But I mean, I don't know. When you get to be our age,
when you become a certain age.
No, I think people just don't. I mean, now that I've gotten to the point where I'm comfortable with it, it's very strange when you come out as a non-drinker. It's
come out of the drinking class. When you come out of the wine cellar.
It's a thing. I mean, I know people who have said that it was easier to come out gay than it was to come out as a non-drinker.
Well,
because
it's probably more mainstream.
There was much more acceptance,
understanding of that than
than the coming out as a non-drinker. What? You don't want to just have one?
Why don't you drink?
And I think that's the big thing. It's like, well, I don't know. It goes into the whole. People don't know. People don't. You don't.
But we are people. We were those people too.
Yeah, but people don't know.
As Jimmy Buffett said, we are the people your parents warned you about.
Yeah, no, we're not.
Now we're just old people. Oh, we were old people.
I don't know. I think
Amy, what do I tell you?
I think the problem that a lot of people have is everybody thinks everybody's drinking normally. And when you look around, people are drinking, the normal
relatively
normal, drinking 2 or 3. But we don't know what people do when they go home. We don't know how people, don't know how people are feeling. We don't know really what is going on inside a person.
Oh, I would definitely control it more when I was out in a group.
Yeah. And
setting.
when you're talking about, like, this month is Mental Health Awareness Month. And when you sit there and you think about it. I mean, mental health, people don't talk about their mental health openly. Most people, I mean, we know people who just, they put on that smile when people who suffer from anxiety and depression.
It's like that goofy commercial, the lady holding up that smiley face.
I'm fine. And they're stressed out. Their life is hard and they are trying to cope and
self-medicating.
So when you, and I did.
Well, and back to
back
to the question about the pot, like, just like alcohol, like, are you excusing it to an extreme that you're literally self-medicating? I think that's where it's kind of becomes very, versus like, recreational, like I have a drink here and there, like the people can take it or leave it. Like,
can you really take it or leave it?
Right.
I mean, the question is if you can.
That goes for any substance.
If you, I don't have a problem with alcohol. Well, then, okay, great. Then quit.
Well, why would I do that?
I mean, that
goes for marijuana or anything.
All right, well, then let's take a break.
If it's truly harmless and you truly don't have an issue.
Yeah, and the whole cycle is
that's why I never quit.
You start.
I'm no quitter, Amy.
You start drinking. And you have this, you're drinking, and it's helping. You think it's helping. You're having fun with it and everything.
I mean,
and
you could argue it did in some ways.
No, it absolutely does. Yeah. However, as you keep drinking, that problem that you, or that feeling you wanted, I wanted to relax or whatever, all of a sudden turns into what's actually giving you the anxiety.
Right.
It's this vicious circle. So I'm drinking to relax and get rid of that anxiety.
Which causes anxiety.
Alcohol causes your body more anxiety.
Well, yeah. It's like
and so the next
day. The pros
day,
don't outweigh the cons, but early on you don't feel the cons or notice the cons to really feel like there are any cons other than maybe a hangover.
Well, you have a hangover, but you think, but our society tells us, it was a good night. You know why I know it was a good night? I don't remember it. I mean, I had a great time. I've got a hangover, so I lose half my Saturday or my weekend or whatever.
The older you get, the more you lose.
Yeah, so.
All right, Coach Amy, ready for your thing of the week? Well, here, you got to play this first, though.
Amy, what you gonna do? Like that song, don't you?
I don't have a real bumper for you. So you get that one.
I like that one.
Well, it was one of the cleaner ones from back in the day, so.
Our good friend.
Adam Raymer hung up his microphone. I don't know when, but last time I went looking to have some voice work, he's like, I don't have that stuff anymore. He didn't say it that way, but anyway, Amy, what's our tactic me
Well,
up,
I'm not
Amy.
really doing a tactic today.
Well, that's what we call it.
We're going to talk about imposter syndrome.
Why would we talk about imposter syndrome, Amy?
No, because most people suffer or have experienced imposter syndrome sometime in their life.
Some people as recently as this past week.
There you go. But imposter syndrome is loosely defined as doubting your abilities and feeling like a fraud.
So like I don't deserve to be here, or I'm not good enough to do this.
Yep. It disproportionately affects high achieving people who find it difficult to accept their accomplishments.
Which is funny. See, I was say, which is funny because I don't consider myself high achieving. And there you go.
And then what happens is many question whether they even deserve the praise that they get. So, hey, you do great work and everything like that. People, they don't believe it. Oh, they naysay it. But basically,
it kind of comes. It's the good news is it can appear outwardly as being humble. So I guess that's a pro of it. But
it's not
in your head. It's a problem.
But we're taught.
Well, let's use my personal example this week when I thought a client went with somebody else because my work sucked, and then I'm like, oh, why they don't like me? And I started going like, I just quit and hang up the cameras and all this crap.
And I'm like,
and all it is just like they had like a free coupon more or less.
And what did I coach you on? I'm like, wait a minute.
Let it go.
There's
okay.
I said there's probably.
But I went down all these roads, and to your, well, not really tactic, but one of the easy things to do is like, especially the time of day, I'll just have a drink. I'll just drink it away.
Yeah,
because that always works.
I'm just going to briefly go over the imposter syndrome cycle. Basically, you have a new project or a task, and then you go to the next step. You're working on it, so you start to have anxiety about it. Sometimes you can procrastinate, like, I'm going to do it, but you're worried about it. So then you get stifled, or you start doing more preparation for it. So you're overthinking it. You're doing tons of things for it, probably doing more than you even need to.
Overthinking it.
That perfectionism starts to kick in. So you're doing even more. Then when the project is complete, you get this brief sense of relief. Oh, okay.
I did it.
It's done. I feel good about it. But then when you start to hear like, oh, great job or anything, it was like, oh, you have this rationalization period where you're like, oh, I was lucky, somebody else could have done a better job. It really wasn't good enough or whatever. And then you go to the next step. Then you have increased self-doubt again. Your anxiety goes up. You feel still like a fraud. And then you go into the next project. And this cycle just continues.
Well, and I think some of it plays into, lowish self-esteem things, and all those things can feed into wanting to drink or drinking more, or self-medicating in some way.
Yeah, but I mean, even with this, we talked about doing this podcast for 9 months.
Sure.
And we kept going on, well, should we do it again? And the last time we did it, it was just this fun thing that we did. And now, it's still fun, but now it's like, now we're doing it.
We're committed.
But we're honestly.
Journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, Amy.
There you go. But something it's just different. So,
but I think, and I think that the challenge is everybody thinks, part of imposter syndrome, right, is thinking everybody else is doing it better. And the people who you think are doing it better still think other people are doing it better. And even people who think you're thinking are doing the best probably think there's other people who do it better.
Well, and I love, we're going to see, it's like, there's a circle.
Circle of life.
Well, you have like imposter syndrome. You have imposter syndrome.
Sure, you haven't been drinking? No. You got the imposter syndrome.
Well,
so let me tell you about the imposter syndrome.
I will put this little,
the pronouncer card?
Maybe we'll share this little diagram.
That's fine. The imposter syndrome.
Well, you have the assumption side. So you think of a circle over here. There's a, like this big circle here that says what I think others know. And inside that circle is a little circle, and it's like what you feel like what I know.
Right.
So this is what you're thinking. Oh, everybody else knows everything. But in reality, there's 2 equal circles, what others know and what you know, because you know just as much, probably, maybe in certain things more than others, than other people know. And these other people are probably having the exact same issues and assumptions that you're having.
But what's on the flip side of that, Amy, of people who think they know more than they actually know? Is that just a Mr. Know-It-All? What is that, like
the narcissist?
Oh, there you go. Is narcissism maybe the opposite of
I don't
Imposter
think
Syndrome?
I don't. What I'm not an expert, but
feels like the correct answer.
Most narcissists
Probably don't have Imposter Syndrome.
don't have Imposter Syndrome
Because they're already the best, Jerry.
because they are, and they're.
Amy, I'm incredibly humble.
But I just also wanted to say 9 ways to cope. We won't go through all of them,
Thank you.
but Imposter Syndrome is just, first off, know that you're not alone. Everybody deals with this. You know, be kind to yourself. Let's have some grace and some compassion with yourself because
You don't suck.
you don't suck. Track your success.
Well, it's not a bad idea.
So, you know,
'Cause
put
it's
these
easy-
things
yeah.
down. You know, like, oh, okay, you know, I did do this or I did that. And remember those successes because
good one.
if you were able to do something hard in the past and you accomplished it, why can't you do something hard now?
Right.
And
Well,
also,
also gives you a chance to look where you've been and what
Yeah.
how you've grown.
yes, let go of perfectionism. Let it go.
So I have Imposter Syndrome, but I'm not as perfectionism. I'm ish. That's why I don't do woodwork. But anyway, continue.
Talk to others, ask for help.
That's a very good one.
Uh-huh.
I consulted with my friend Griffin about a video
Yep.
project. Yeah.
Know the signs of it. So if you start to
Spiral.
question these things, then go, okay, wait a minute, where are these thoughts coming from? Slow yourself down. I'm a huge fan of journaling, and it doesn't have to be this dear diary.
But that's more fun. Yeah.
But you can just write down those thoughts, write
be a
them
brain
down
dump.
just to get it out. And then on your successes, when you have the success, embrace that feeling. You know, let it settle into your body and remember it.
Remember.
So, I mean, there's more, there's more things with the imposter syndrome, but I know I suffer from it.
Here's the problem with drinking and Imposter Syndrome. You wake up in the morning, still going to be there. Can't drink it away, kids. I've tried. There's nothing at the bottom of the bottle.
No, you can't. And a lot of people do. You're like, oh, I feel like I'm a fake. I feel like I'm a fraud. I don't want to have those feelings, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have a drink.
There you go. See? Then I'll be fun. Then they'll know that I'm fun, right, Amy?
It doesn't really help. Oh, so just think, next week we are going to have a guest.
Oh, special guest next week.
Special guest.
Oh, yay! All right, that'll bring a new kink in the fun of what is technology. Technology and setting up the podcast. So
She's I guess she would be my coaching partner right now.
sure, there you go. Yeah, I put you in
Yeah.
charge of the interview, so exciting.
So yeah, excited about that.
Next week you won't have to listen to us only. Aren't you happy? But not us.
Just my dear friend, Jenny Jones.
Jenny Jones. JJ. Can I call her JJ? Is that JJ? I don't know. Sure. I'll just be the comedic relief sitting in the corner, kids. All right. Well, if you want to reach out to us, it's feedback at afmpodcast.com. That's afmpodcast.com.
Remember,
Please comment, subscribe, like.
please like,
whatever.
share, do
Thumbs
it.
up.
Just tell a friend.
Tell us. We have imposter syndrome too. Tell us we're good. And dang it, things will be okay, kids. All right, kids. Well, that's it.
What was that small?
Stuart Smalls.
Stuart Smalls.
Darn it, people
no,
like me.
Smalley.
I don't remember. All right, kids. Well, that's it from us in the cornfields. I am Matt, along with Coach Amy, and we are out.